Hello everyone, this is Matt from Real World Review, and today is week 6 of Let's Talk. What I do on Let's Talk is go over my Google feed, I select 3 articles, and I talk to you guys about those. In this week, the phone that we're recording on is the Samsung S7 Edge, recording at 1080p at 60 frames per second. So the first article is from The Verge, and it's talking about how top Democrats want to get rid of the merger of T-Mobile and Sprint. So there's a few things that they went over, but the one that stuck out for me is the fact that they said that this will eliminate competition if T-Mobile and Sprint merge together, and personally, I don't believe that's true. They do say that once the merger happens, it'll only be Verizon, at&t, and T-Mobile. Which sounds bad, but it would be very difficult for T-Mobile to become a huge player like Verizon is. Another thing to think about is that as of 2018, Verizon had 153.9 million subscribers, at&t had 153.0 million subscribers, T-Mobile had 79.7 million subscribers, and Sprint had 53.5 million subscribers. So even after they combine, they would still have to have at least 25 million subscribers to pass at&t or Verizon. At the rate that T-Mobile has been increasing, it will take at least 6 years before they surpass Verizon or at&t. T-Mobile and Sprint also say that when they do combine, it'll help the 5G network expand quicker than it normally would if one of them started a 5G network. Something to think about is that none of these people are experts on telecommunications. I personally am not an expert on this either, but I do understand that this is kind of a flawed way to think. I mean, let's be honest, we're talking about T-Mobile and Sprint. T-Mobile followed the way of BlackBerry and didn't really make their company better until they got a new CEO, which was John Legere. After that, T-Mobile started making some radical changes and actually became a lot better than they used to be. Sprint, on the other hand, has not been doing that. Sprint says that they've been improving, but it's been proven many times that Sprint is not the good choice. Even companies like Metro by T-Mobile, which used to be Metro PCS, has actually been a lot better than they used to be since T-Mobile bought them. So is this merger a good idea? Probably not, but it is a very good idea for Sprint and their parent company SoftBank. However, I don't think this will have a negative impact on Verizon or at&t. If anything, it might actually convince them to make better plans. Now the next article I want to talk about is from Kotaku, and it's talking about how the Nintendo Switch subreddit was actually giving away devices and games, and the mods actually had to ban those giveaway posts. Long story short, they were giving away games, online services, digital versions of those games, and sometimes even an actual Nintendo Switch altogether. Now, why is this a big issue? Because obviously not every single one of these posts were giveaways. The reason that they may have been able to do this is to get upvotes and karma, which could be a bad idea, but I'll talk about that in a few seconds. And the reason that they banned it is because they didn't want people getting confused and not knowing what they're doing. Another thing that you could do is you could actually give these people gold, which is essentially money. So by having these post up, if they put anything on there and then someone gives them money, then they kind of just made money for nothing. It's kind of weird that this just started up for no reason whatsoever, but it does shed some light on some things that people really need to pay attention to. And that's that not everything on the internet is true, and that you should definitely be careful when it comes to giveaways, especially when they require certain information like your addresses or any other information like that that's very personal to you. They also talk about how to prevent yourself from being scammed, and one of those ways is to check to see how long that account has been open. If they've only been open for a couple months, then the giveaway might be a scam. If they've been open for many years and they have been very active in those posts, then it might be real. But for now, they are banning all the giveaway posts on that subreddit. They also talked about how the subreddit for the PlayStation 4 also saw these giveaways happening as well, and personally I found that kind of weird. But what you should definitely take away from these articles is that not everything on the internet is real. But there may be people to help you figure out which ones are real and which ones aren't. And our last article is from The Verge, talking about how the PlayStation Classic is now $40 at Walmart. It's a very short article, but the obvious reason for why this is happening is because the device is not that good. Now the actual emulation is decent, and it is a Sony product, so it is fairly nice. The issue is that the game selection is terrible. There are very few games on here, and it kind of makes sense why that is the case, but it's not a good reason to buy this. Also, having a very limited amount of games on this without the option of increasing those games also makes this a very bad purchase. It does come with Metal Gear Solid, Tekken 3, Twisted Metal, and Final Fantasy VII, but those are the main games that they talk about. I mean, I don't even think Crash Bandicoot was on this. It's a little bit disappointing, and the lack of games is the main reason why I didn't buy it personally. But at $40, you could use this to kind of retrofit like a Raspberry Pi or some other logic board in there, which there are a few videos of people doing that already. So $40 for a PlayStation Classic case, kind of debatable. I kind of saw this coming because like a week or two after this came out, which was $100, it was already at $60, which was a fairly good price, but it makes sense why it didn't sell that well. If there was an option to install more games, I think this would definitely sell a lot better than it is now. Just add Wi-Fi to it. Maybe an SD card. I don't know. I don't make these things. And that's all I wanted to talk about today. The links will be in the description below, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or any opinions you want to talk to me about it, let me know in the comment section or on Twitter at @MattofRWR. And feel free to follow me on the social media listed above. Also subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this and other review and repair videos as well. And hit that bell button so then YouTube will remind you when those videos do come out. Thanks for watching.